Moontan here, back at you with another build video. Just kidding. This is actually only my third build video. But it's not a Magicka Templar build video, it's a Stamina Nightblade build video, so you haven't seen one of these from me before. I have been playing Nightblade for a little while now, and through the progression between the Morrowind patch to now, I went from bow to two-hander to now dual-wield two-hander, and I've really enjoyed the playstyle. But there's some shortcomings because it's super powerful one-on-one, but then that aspect of open world comes in where you need sustain, but you still want to have a lot of damage, and you need like a weird meld of that in dual two-hander. So this is when I came up with this build for this patch, because having the two-hand on the back bar and the two-hand and both sets on each bar is super helpful. So this is my Stamina Nightblade build for Summerset. I'm using Trollking on a 5-1-1, so I'm using the Undaunted passives, but Trollking, Impreg, and then this set is called Prisoners, even though this is called Old Bone Shivering Timber. I'm highlighting this piece specifically because this is a named item, and there is some quest, I don't know the name of the quest, but you can farm these, or at least get them easier, and it's important that they're axes. I really want to try this out in a Decisive or maybe Nerdhone, but Infuse is just the trait that I have on it right now. You can kind of play around with it. Decisive would be pretty good with the Werewolf back bar, or even just more in-caps. I altered all the Prisoners rings to have robust traits on them, so it's not arcane jewelry. And then my setup, which I'm running right now, is four impen pieces, so 4 impenetrable, which decreases critical resistances, and then 3 well-fitted that reduces roll dodge and sprint costs. So the combination of medium armor, a little bit in CP, and then the Prisoner set, my sprint cost is so low that I can kind of spam that, and it makes it easy to jump into a fight, even if it's like a tri-faction fight or something like that. Jump in, try to get like an in-cap combo off or something like that real quick, pick someone off and run out, and just be really like a nuisance. But also for 1vx and outnumbered situations, I'm just not running out of that sustain because I'm getting a lot of Magicka regeneration from running, and they're chasing me at this point. So once they chase me, I'm turning on them and trying to in-cap combo and kill them really quick. So that's kind of the playstyle that I'm doing right now. And it's mostly because I play with, I'm either playing alone or duos, trios, and sometimes four people. And that's kind of like the area you want to be in with here. Obviously this build's not going to be great for like super big team fights. You could Zerg Surf with this build, that would be fine too. You probably could do that better with like a set like Spriggans or something if you wanted to do that kind of gameplay. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about my skills. So on the back bar, I'm running Rally. I have Leeching Strikes, which gives you about another 600 regen. And then you have Shuffle, Shadowy Disguise, this is your cloak ability. Relentless Focus, this is an awesome ability, and once you learn how to use the stacks with this ability, so every time you do a light attack or a heavy attack, you get 1 stack. At 5 stacks, you can hit with like a really, really strong disease damage, and it's ranged. So if you ever watch my gameplay, sometimes I hit it from far away, run up an in-cap, which does less damage, but it's more surprising sometimes. Or sometimes, you know, I'll hit him with the in-cap and then hit Relentless there. Now, it's up to you if you want to try to figure out how to put this on your front bar. I prefer to keep Werewolf on my back bar here, that there, and then, hold on, I gotta actually stand up so I can change my skills. I like to keep Vigor on my front bar. Some people play Relentless on their front bar and put Vigor on their back bar. But I want Relentless on, Vigor on my front bar, as well as, and by front bar I mean my damage bar. In-cap Strike. In-cap Strike is your bread and butter. Surprise Attack is really good. If you want to save some Magicka for fear, it's important to use Cloak to your advantage and run up and use a Surprise Attack, because it'll stun, off-balance them, and then it's really easy once you get the animation canceling down. You can hit a Surprise Attack, maybe a Light Attack, In-cap Strike, Light Attack, execute, and someone will die. And that's kind of like a good way to gank people out. This skill, it's pretty cheap and it's pretty easy to spam, and this is going to lock your target down, so that's why you get the Rending Slashes more. Now the next skill, this is your execute, and there's 2 things you can do with your execute. If you want to respect other Nightblade's life as a little Nightblade, I implore you to not do the Dual-Wield execute, which is Steel Tornado, and opt for, when you're at least small scaling, using Killer's Blade. Killer's Blade is awesome. Sometimes it lets you go all in on a fight, so you're like Alright, I either need to hit a Vigor, or this guy's about to die and I'm gonna Killer's Blade. That 20% heal when it's low is awesome. And if you watch any of the gameplay from a Nightblade or you get used to using it yourself, it actually creates an aura around the target you're hitting at. So it's easy to know that they're under 25% health. You're not questioning it. You know that, okay, I've done enough damage with my other abilities. I can start light attack, Killer Blade spamming until hopefully this person dies. Or you might have to throw a fear in there to make sure they get CC'd in that combo if they weren't already CC'd. So that is pretty much the bread and butter. If you have any questions about the werewolf and what you do in werewolf, maybe I can make a whole other build and segment for that. It would take me too much time to explain what's going on with werewolf. But if that's something you want, leave a comment below about werewolves and I can do that. Now let's just go briefly into just what the stats are. Now they're not going to seem very high, but if you aren't comfortable running the higher damage, it would be totally cool inventory-wise if you put like a restoration glyph here or something like that. Because I am running the Warrior Mundus on top of 3 tri-damage glyphs, but you could play around with that. In no CP, I would keep everything the same and just go get the Serpent Mundus and I would be fine for no CP. Okay, now we'll go to the champion points. And there's a lot of going back and forth on what champion points work the greatest or the best. This is from me slowly altering my build for about 6 months into the current setup that I have right now. I honestly don't break free too often unless I have to. I'm usually using a dodge roll. And sprint, I probably actually could redistribute this and put more points into there at this point. Arcanist, you want a little bit of magic recovery. Tenacity, this gives you energy back on your hits. I'm not going to go through every single one. If you read the CP, you'll understand why I have the points in there. But go ahead and just copy it right off the video. Befouled, this is really good for your in-cap. Or in-cap and werewolf, to be honest. Bless, a little bit of healing. Physical weapons expert. So this is something I started doing last patch, but this patch is actually going to be pretty good. Is because your light attack's already got a buff on damage. So I've always just buffed the damage. I know a lot of people dump points into blessed. I don't need more healing if I'm killing you faster. Alright, so then you have the damage thing. So I've gone back and forth here. What I like the most right now is this, because unless I am 100% incorrect, this is affecting healing. So yeah, it says critical healing. And I already have good burst damage, so this little bit helps. Some people are stacking lots of impen, but this is the one that I felt really helped me the most out of everything. But I kind of well-rounded it, you know? Let's see if there's anything else. I do have points in resistance. And yeah, that's pretty much good for CP. If you guys have any questions on that, feel free to come to the stream and ask me any questions. Other than that, it's a high critical resistance build. All my pieces are gold except for these, which I'll work on. The actual food that I'm using, if you're curious about food and pots and everything, I'm using the new food, the Artium takeaway broth. It is super helpful, and it's really good, and you can see why if you look at the stats and combine with Trollking and everything like that. The pots that I use are Essence of Movability. This is your bread and butter. You're gonna need these, and you're gonna need lots of them, because that's how you get your Major Expedition. Even if you didn't need the immune to knockback effects and stuff like that, you could still make the pots with Stam and Major Expedition, and those would be very useful. Tripods, I use tripods when I get locked down by like a Dragon Knight usually, because I know I'm gonna need extra healing, and I'm not going away from that fight until I kill him. And then Essence of Movability. These are my favorite ones for looking for other stand blades, because I have low magic recovery already. This helps out, and I can cloak around a little bit easier. I tend to only use these, or if it's a Nightblade that is some kind of disrespectful in Cyrodiil Open World PvP, or it's like someone that I'm not gonna have to really concern about, but I just need them to be dead. And that's it. I love this build. I love playing in Cyrodiil. I hope you guys have fun. If you have any questions or anything like that, I'll probably be playing this build the rest of this patch, or some derivative of it. If you want to get creative with it, I think the most creative thing you could do here is change these up, because you might not need that 4-set. Maybe do something like agility, master's weapons or something here, and just keep the prisoners on the back bar. That's it. Over and out. Oh.